Volcano is ready to blow. Scientists warn. Building to blow. This is the Long Valley caldera of California. It's not just Yellowstone that is ready to blow. We also have another old area, the Long Valley caldera, located in the area of California. It would take in California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. Certainly hoping that all these states have evacuation plans, including filter masks to wear and emergency food and water. The way the Long Valley volcano is acting, you might need this as soon as possible. When people think of California, they may think of earthquakes, but a lot of people don't know that there are volcanoes there as well. At least two, the Lassen Peak and the much larger Long Valley caldera near Mammoth Lakes. In 1915, Lassen Peak erupted and wrecked a huge portion of the state of California. Now, over the last 100 days, the much larger Long Valley caldera has been acting up. It's acting up with uplift, with earthquakes, and it's doing what geologists and the U.S. Geological Survey are calling concern. The caldera, the mouth of the volcano, is moving. According to scientific instruments monitoring the area, the United States Geological Survey, that's the USGS, in the area in the vicinity of the Long Valley caldera, find that it is deforming and it's moving rapidly compared to previous records. Now, how sure are they this is happening? They're 95% confident, and the data assembled is significant. It shows that a recent time span, the amount of the movement is causing statistically significant strain in the rocks of the area. It is not a conspiracy theory or conjecture or amateur geological antics. This is from the USGS itself. This is the actual data. And now you can see it in the article I'll leave below for you. It may look like gobbledygook to you, but you're not alone. You can scroll down and understand the explanations. USGS instrument measurements. It says the following exceed SRN 1.5, and at the 95% CI, the assemble is significant. Time span is 31 out of 730 days. To be significant at the 95% CI, counts need to exceed 20 units in either mm per year or nanostrain per year. So you can be saved the trouble. All of the readings in the first data exceed the 20 units. The following units exceed SNR 2.0, and at the 95% CI, the assemble is significant. This time span is 31 out of 730 days. To be significant at the 95% CI level, counts need to be 9 units in either mm per year or nanostrain per year. And now again, they save us the trouble. All the data in the second set exceeds 9 units. One is read by a lot. And the following exceed SRN 3.0 at the 95% CI, assemble significant. Time span is 31 out of 730 days. Significantly at the 95% CI level, counts need to exceed 1 unit in either mm per year or nanostrain per year. And again, they save us the trouble. They all exceed 1 unit. The ones in red by a lot. So what does this mean? So judging by the deformation directions and the rates, the magma plume is subsiding over the previous caldera and rising just south of it. This is where the earthquakes are swarming now. The entire thing is tilting away from the mountains, with the northern edge of the old caldera sinking, the southern edge moving north. It's as if pushed by some force in the swarm region, and this does not look at all good. This is what the USGS puts it as being. Increasing volcanic unrest, including earthquake swarms, ground deformation, and carbon dioxide gas emissions in the Long Valley area since 1980, increases the chance of an eruption occurring in the near future. Scientists still lack adequate data to reliably calculate by how much. Volcanic unrest in some other large volcanic system has persisted for decades or even centuries without leading to the eruption. But since volcanic unrest can escalate to an eruption quickly in a few weeks or days or less, the USGS scientists are monitoring the activity closely. And for those of you who might not quite comprehend this, they're putting it very clearly in another way. Out of nowhere, the mountain started moving several times faster than it's ever moved before, in a direction it is not supposed to be moving, while shaking like a leaf and belching poisonous gas. So that should be clear enough for just anyone. The USGS has also issued a status statement about the volcano which reads as follows. Long Valley Caldera, California, Mono County, latitude 37.7 north, longitude 118.87 degrees west, elevation 2,600 meters or 8,530 feet. Volcano type, caldera. Composition, basalt to rhyolite. Most recent eruption, 16 to 17,000 years ago. Nearby towns, Mammoth Lakes. Threat potential, very high. Oh joy, threat potential is very high, just what we need. Earthquakes. There are huge swarms of earthquakes. There's a whole list here. So the ground is deforming, carbon monoxide and earthquakes. We all know earthquakes are the pretty reliable indicator of a pending eruption. How many earthquakes have there been and how big were they? Well, there's been 284 earthquakes in the last 5 days. And the report says, notice the depth column that very many of the earthquakes are happening at a negative depth. That means above ground. How does that happen? The volcano itself that rises 8,550 feet above ground, and some of the earthquakes are higher than ground level. That means that it's happening in the volcano itself. The above ground and the volcano quakes are highlighted in either yellow, less than 2 kilometers above ground, or in red, more than 2 kilometers above ground. What causes earthquakes inside a volcano higher than the ground level? Well, that's lava moving upwards. So that's bad. That's bad. A negative depth above ground. Lava moving upwards. That means that it's about to erupt. There's a whole list of earthquakes here. I mean, most of the article is all this, if you care to see them one by one. Now, do you have your attention on this? That's good, because we're told exactly what an eruption of the long lava caldera could mean. According to the USGS, the volcano last erupted, as we said, 16 to 17,000 years ago. Before that, they know it also erupted 760,000 years ago, because they tracked the volcanic ash deposits and found they covered an area shown in green on the map. Of course, the USGS could be correct. Perhaps all this activity and earthquakes and ground deformation at a rate they've never seen before, the whole mountain moving in a direction it's not supposed to be moving and belching toxic gas, might mean nothing. But then again, it could be what Mount St. Helens was about to happen when it blew just before it blew. We just figured the good folks of California, Nevada, and other nearby states might want to know what the facts are and decide for themselves if all this speculatory, unusual stuff means nothing. So if there is actually a big eruption coming, those big flows of gray-colored ash that careen down the mountain, called pyroclastic flows, move at about 500 miles an hour. If you see movies, you see the people running, trying to run it out, trying to get out faster than the pyroclastic flow, and some of them do make it with the car. That's not true. That does not happen, because it moves at 500 miles an hour. That's almost as fast as an airplane. And the temperature of those gray, billowy clouds of ash, that's 800 degrees. So you can count outrunning it. You will not survive it. It'll because the speed of the ash cloud knocks down everything in its path, and the temperature of the ash cloud causes everything to burst into flames. Now, for those in the green-colored area, you should be aware that volcanic ash is not actually ash. It is pulverized rock. It will stall your car by clogging the air intake, and if you get out of your car to see why it stalled and you breathe in a few whiffs of ash, it turns into mud-like sludge in your lungs, and it turns into cement in a couple of good whiffs, and you're suffocating on the sludge. There is no treatment, nor cure, you're just dead. So there are more quakes, and they're getting stronger. In the hours spent researching and writing this article, USGS has begun reporting even more earthquakes, and they're getting stronger. Now, a brief history, we said approximately 760,000 years ago, the volcanic eruption took place in the northern portions of present-day California, which was 2,000 times greater than the more recent eruption of Mount St. Helens in Washington state. 2,000 times greater. The eruption caused a caldera 10 miles wide and 20 miles in length. It's estimated that the eruption left a lava flow that covered 1,500 square miles and was caused the placement of 150 cubic miles of volcanic material. The ash from the volcano was thrown as far east as Nebraska and Kansas, all the way to the Pacific Ocean in the west, into Idaho, Wyoming, in the north, and even northern parts of Mexico. In the modern day world, the volcano in question has not had any volcanic activity over 200 years. Well, this is an old article I'm reading from. This is from 2007. Well, we just read to you what happens. It is active, and it's pushing and belching and rising, and we have the negative earthquakes, which means that the lava is flowing through the volcano. In 1980, volcano watch was set at an all-time high after Mount St. Helens eruption, which took the lives of many bystanders caught in the path of the violent explosion. Which such a disaster fresh in the minds of American people, the USGS began searching for other volcanoes in the continental United States that might also present a danger. We also have Yellowstone ready to burst. Now, the ways of the caldera in Long Valley caldera is being constantly monitored by USGS, remote sensors, seismicity, ground deformation, low-lying atmospheric gases, hydrology, that is the lakes, wells, fumarole springs, and participation of the caldera are continually monitored to record the order to be read by USGS. The data is then compared to other known volcanic patterns that the USGS might be able to make a safe and timely prediction on the possibility of another eruption. I'll leave links below for you for this, so heads up, they've given us a warning. This is active, and the negative earthquakes mean that the lava is making its way up through the volcano, up to the caldera. That's not good.
Closed. Now, what's interesting is these areas that are south of Yellowstone, south of Steamboat Geyser, are about 108 miles by car, less than that if you were to just take a ruler from point A to point B. There is a growing fissure, a growing crack in the earth that's about 125 feet long. Now, there's been people say, Rex, why is the mainstream news not covering this? Do I really need to answer that question for you? Really? And I don't know what you consider mainstream news, but the Jackson Hole newspaper is a local newspaper. It's not fluff, it's not conspiracy, it's the local news. You can go to Jackson Hole newspaper, read all about it. You can also read about it via NPS, the National Park System. You can read all about it there, go directly to their website. They'll tell you about these. Isn't it interesting how the media spins it? I would say maybe not look up fissure unless you type earth fissure first, because do you know what a fissure actually is? Where am I going with this? It seems like even the news is manipulating the narrative to make it less interesting. Does that make sense with these earth changes? Let's see. I'm almost convinced the earth is literally expanding. Literally. And there was somebody that says in the comment section, Rex, you say literally too much? Well, literally, okay? Cliff High, this guy is a genius mind. He came on the show the other day, well, a couple months ago, few weeks ago, we were talking about the expanding Earth theory and how much of this volcanic activity, the volcanoes, the fissures, the way you can explain it is the grand solar minimum that we're in right now. So the grand solar minimum, the Earth is expanding. How do you prove this? Well, what happens when matter heats up? What happens when you heat up matter? It expands. The expanding Earth hypothesis. Volcanic activity around the world. The fissure, 125-foot long crack. Hidden Falls. Okay, so there's a cliff out there. The way that it was noticed is they were doing some. There were some park rangers and others out there that were testing their climbing abilities, because those are very popular destinations in the Grand Tetons, which is the park just south of Yellowstone. If you've never been out there, look on the map. Beautiful drive. Get out there before you have too much ash. I'm joking. Nothing's going to happen. Go back to sleep. Watch your programming. Consume the products that the mainstream media offers you. Don't support Leap Project sponsors. No, because the Leap Project sponsors are the best. So you don't want to support the best. You want to support the mainstream media garbage. Yeah, that's the way to go. But anyway, so expanding Earth, 125-foot long crack, south about 100 miles of Steamboat Geyser, that which I need to remind you has erupted 11 times in the past 4 months. You can go back into the 80s. There was some activity in the 80s. In the 60s, there was some substantial activity at Steamboat Geyser. Yes, it's a good thing that the geysers are still erupting. It's a good thing that the lakes are still there. I'm just bringing this to your attention. So before you leave a comment and say, you're a fear monger, man, I'm scared. You're scaring me, man. You're freaking me out, dude. What am I going to do? Don't worry. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You should watch the Smurfs. Although the Smurfs might freak you out too, because there's usually some evil plot in the Smurfs, you know, so you gotta be careful. Also, Greenland. There's some more exciting news. Some more exciting, earth-changing news. Greenland, a 10 million ton iceberg fell into the ocean. And now, there's another iceberg. The most massive iceberg these people have seen in Greenland on the coast, and they're like, oh crap, look at this thing, we're gonna have to move. Oh wait, there's somebody behind me there, some biker. It's a bike path. What's up, man? Nice guy. So Greenland, you don't want to be in Greenland on the coast right now, because if you're in Greenland on the coast right now, you might be evacuated. But there's nothing to see here. I wonder if people in Greenland are as brainwashed as people in other parts of the world. What do you think? If you were to take all the countries, break it down by brainwashed, zombified sheep per capita, which country would reign supreme? Which country would reign supreme? That's open for debate, because I haven't really talked to everybody around the world. See, once again, media mind control. Your mind is thinking what the media tells you. When I asked you that question, I'll bet you the first thing you thought of is what the news told you. You're thinking, well, what have I seen on TV? Oh yeah, those people over there in North Korea, they're really brainwashed, man. Oh my gosh, they're gonna grab us, they're gonna give me. Well, that's right, I have to be serious. I have to be serious. I can't just be from serious. I have to be serious. Read the comments. Rex, this podcast started off really good, and then you started going off on tangents, and I was gonna share this, man. What happened to you? I saw Zorg laying down on a purple mattress. You sold out, man. No, I paid for the mattress, just like everybody else. And he's pretty awesome, by the way, especially when you sleep on the floor for a week. Any mattress is nice. But, how are you guys doing? I need to read the comments here. Oh yeah, we got 406 people here. This is awesome. This is a beautiful day in the park. Hey, you know you're in trouble if giant fissures start opening up in Arizona. Oh wait, they already have. What about that mile-long crack in the desert in Arizona that's still expanding? And yes, Hidden Falls, Grand Teton National Park, one of the most popular destinations, is indefinitely closed, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. before you call me a conspiracy theorist, which I take as a compliment, look it up, say, why haven't I seen this on the mainstream news? Well, maybe it's because it's not to their best interest. Maybe they're not getting offered enough money yet. And what about Kilauea? What's going on in Kilauea? Do you even remember about the Hawaii volcano? A lot of people already forgot about that. They got basketball on, man. I got basketball on. I don't care, the world's breaking apart, man. Got zombies and stuff. Kilauea. What's going on with the Puna geothermal venture? Do you remember what that is? Oh, you know, the geothermal plant in Kilauea. Those huge vents shooting down into the earth to pull the energy out of the earth. On the right? You could have taken on the left. Cheers, man. Did you see that guy coming up? He probably had some radar mind control matrix thing. So get this. There's going to be a really cool event in October, Pine Top, Arizona. It's going to be like a conspiracy event. Conspiracy realists are going to be there. Well, the guy that's putting it together might have got nailed with some type of directed energy weapon. That's kind of spooky. Directed energy weapons. Speaking of directed energy weapons, do you think the directed energy weapons could be used in certain situations to cause, I don't know, earthquakes, volcanoes, extreme weather? Do you think that if you sprayed a bunch of nanoparticulates in the atmosphere via stratospheric aerosol injections, that you could use certain frequencies to heat up those particulates and mess with the atmosphere, which in return could possibly mess with the planet? So let me ask you this. What do you think is causing all of these volcanoes, all of these earthquakes, this extreme weather? Do you think this is totally natural? Do you think this is a part of the Earth's natural process? Do you think the powers that be are attempting to protect us with the stratospheric aerosol injection program? And they just love us so much? Is it all out of love? Or could there be another motive? I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. What do you guys think? Okay, I can't say that either. People say that's not serious. I'm gonna be serious. All right, I'll walk serious. I'm mad. I'm so mad, man. The Earth's cracking apart. Oh. No, it's exciting. Enjoy the ride, right? It's a ride. It's a wave. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Embrace the madness. Hold on a second. Oh, you know what that is? Smart dust. I just brought some of it in. Brought some in the, you know, just take it in with love, you know? The love frequency. The love frequency. All right, well, what are y'all up to? I can't even read the comments here. Rex, you're completely out of your mind. Rex, are you a reptilian shapeshifter? Rex, I always knew you were a Jesuit sellout. Rex, I can't believe you sold out to the Marshmallow Man. Oh my goodness, Rex, you're insane. Wow, these comments are incredible. You just got to read through them. That's why you got to be here in the live chat. You got to be in the live chat. Because if you're in the live chat, it's awesome. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All you have to do is give some love. Now we're at a major road here. All right. Oh yeah. I feel so good today. I feel so good. I mean, you see all that stratospheric aerosol injection love? All the nanoparticulate haze? It's all out of love. It's because they love us so much. The fracking of the world, you know, ripping all that blood out of the planet. It's because they love us. The suppressed patents, they love us. Aspartame in the food, they love us. E. coli feces, they love us. Genetically modified viruses on food they don't tell you about, they love us. It's out of love. So, hey, Yellowstone, if you're in, and here's the thing too, I'm not saying that Yellowstone is going to go boom. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I think that if it gets close to that, what will happen is you'll have some very intelligent scientists